What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, My Desire, and I am back with another episode review for Our Kind of People. Now, this is episode 4 called Crabs in a Gold-Plated Barrel. Need I say more, okay? This episode is just as feisty as the last 3. However, you can see that everybody is starting to slow down to develop the storylines and the characters a lot better. Now, we've already established that Leah and Angie are sisters, right? And Teddy Franklin, well, he's the father. So we fast forward into this episode where it seems that they're still hitting heads. You know, Leah is telling Teddy basically like, hey, listen, this is your mess and I'm tired of having to clean up after you. Whereas Angie is feeling like, it is what it is. I'm not here for money. I just want to make a name for myself. And I don't understand why it's so hard for everybody to see that. Now, in this episode, there are a few new dynamics that have come into the light. We know that in the last episode, episode 3, that Nikki thought she was the product of a one-night stand. In this episode, we find out otherwise, and her dad comes into the picture. Now, there's a lot to be seen there, and you guys will see a lot more, but I'm trying to tell you that this is taking an interesting turn. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like this character just because of how they introduce him to the show. But you guys can tell me your take on that a little bit later once you guys see this episode. Now, Angie is in the incubator program. Leah hates that, right? And so she's throwing all sorts of shade. And hey, listen, in every episode, Leah is throwing shade. At this point, we know that what they're going to be is 2 things for sure. Drama, shade in these episodes. So Leah and Raymond, right? Of course, their marriage is not where either of them wanted to be right now. However, it seems like in this episode, they're willing to take some steps forward, but then they're going to take a whole lot of steps back. And Raymond is kind of fed up with Leah being daddy's little girl. Now, we know that Raymond, his company, Dartmouth, right, is, basically was under the water, and Daddy Franklin rescued the company. But of course, that doesn't come without a price to pay for being rescued. And so he's fighting to get his company back, as we saw in the previous episodes, and he's fighting to save his marriage. But will he have to choose? Well, rather, will Leah have to choose? Because right now, playing daddy's girl seems to outweigh what she wants in this marriage. Now, of course, we're taking it back. You got your girl, Nikki. And Nikki is, she's doing teenage shit, right? She's trying to figure it out. And it seems to be a little complicated with how close her and Taylor have been getting, considering that Lauren and Taylor are a thing and have been for quite some while. So we're gonna see how this develops, because remember, Nikki and Lauren are now cousins. So that's all I got to say about that. Now, your boy Lance, aka Tremaine, I'm going to get his name super wrong, but you know what I'm talking about, right? He is starting to feel some kind of way because we saw in the last episode that, he was doing some dirty work for the Franklins. And so he's starting to kind of come around to how he really feels, and looks like he might be a casualty to this whole situation. We shall see how that pans out. I'm excited to see episode 5 because I hope that they go in and develop his character a little bit more, because we know that he was, the son of Mr. Franklin's bodyguard, and that he died in the line of duty. And so they took him in like a son. But like he explained in this episode, they kind of treated him real dirty. They treated him like the help before he got to where he was. So we're going to see some pretty interesting conversations and dynamics that are going to lead us to deciding whether we like Leah or like Angie, and whose side eventually we're going to be on, right? Because technically we already know how this is going to work. It's going to be either Team Leah or Team Angie. I know that, of course, in this episode we have another new character, right? Uncle Tizzie has entered the picture, and Tizzie is he's alive and just a breath of fresh air coming in to pretty much save the day. And he does that so well. He brings joy and excitement to this episode. I'm definitely thinking that probably this is my best episode yet. Like I said, with all the new dynamics of the people coming in and the different storylines and them just giving us more about each character that we've already seen the last 3 episodes, it's really exciting to see how everyone develops. Now, your girl Angie is still all about business, right? So despite the shade that Leah has been throwing her, she's still on her P's and Q's. She's still here to stay, and Eve's crown is about to go down. It's about to be popping, okay? She's talking to her fans, she's talking to her followers and all of her supporters, and she's going to see just where she stands with them in this episode, because, you know, hey, what's a little bit of shade without a little bit of Instagram dirt? Am I right? So I think that this episode is a real page turner. It allows us to see a little bit more insight, to really see like who is gonna be shiesty and shady and who is gonna be down for the cause. And of course, we can't leave without, like I said, Raymond, aka Morris Chestnut, giving us his usual angry black man speech at some point of the episode. And for me, it was at the end of the episode. So he's getting himself in some hot water. He's going in, and I'm not too sure how Leah's gonna feel about these moves that he's getting ready to make. But like I said, you guys already know. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how you feel. Episode 4, you know, is just, it's very interesting, and it's really starting to change the dynamic of the show, and I like it. This is my best episode yet. You know what it is, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. on Fox. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you back here again next time. Peace, y'all.
Big old bell.